Today I'm making a beef chow fun or 干炒牛河 at home. It's one of my daughter's favorite dishes, so when I get a chance I try to make it for her. I start with a very hot wok and as high of a fire as you can get it. If you got a fancy propane stove outside, do it with that. And I start with a lot of oil in it, as you can see, but it's not, all that oil is not for cooking. It's actually just to get the whole wok very hot and very non-stick, because the noodles will stick to the wok if you don't do that. So I poured out most of it and left about a tablespoon left in there and waiting for it to get a little hotter. And meanwhile, the Chow Fun has been pulled apart, and you must use fresh Chow Fun. You go to the Asian stores, only buy it from that day. Feel it and make sure it's soft before you buy it. If it feels cold, then it's been refrigerated, and that's no good. So pull out your Chow Fun and make sure to peel it all apart, as you can see right there. And as you put it in, don't fidget with it. I just move it around to make sure it's making contact with the hot wok, and then I leave it alone for about 30 seconds to let it crust up on the bottom side. I'll start with a little bit of sesame oil and then a little bit of salt to give the Chow Fun itself a little bit of flavor. And then I will start to flip it in a second. So Chow Fun is, full name is Chow Fun, which comes from a district of Guangzhou called Sahao, and it's very famous there. It's my daughter's favorite dish. It's one of my favorite dishes as well. Alright, so now here I'm going to put in some bean sprouts. I put it in now because I don't want it to wilt too much. And putting it now just kind of gives it a little bit of chance to wilt without letting it excrete too much water. If you cook it too long, bean sprouts will just become watery, and that's not good for this dish. Alright, so I just stir fry that in. And before this, I have done a mixture of sweet soy sauce, and this soy sauce has regular soy sauce, a little bit of sugar, and a dark soy sauce, which is meant for coloring, and a little bit of water. I don't have a recipe for this, but just do a combination of those four things and then taste it before you put it into your hor fun. So I put most of it into the hor fun right now and get it to take in that color. As you can see, it's becoming nice and brown. You could put more color in it, but I don't. I don't really care to do that. But before that, before I started this process, I did a quick stir fry of my meats and some celery and onions and green onions. So I had that stir fry ahead of time, and now I put it in to mix, and we're almost done. So if you have a very good gas stove at home and you have a wok like this is a pretty easy dish to make. But if you don't, then maybe enjoy it out in the restaurants.